Good morning, everyone. I'm Connor. I woke up at, I think 6:30, and I haven't been able to get back to sleep. And I thought, you know what might help? A cup of coffee and a live stream on Twitch, unfortunately. And I am going to talk about that. But get your cups of coffee, everyone. Even if you're not in the same time zone, even if it's the middle of the night, guess what? Coffee time. It's preordained. You don't get a say in the matter. It's coffee time. Coffee time, everyone. I'm in fashion because dressing well makes me feel better on days where I can't. I don't feel great. If I dress well, I feel better. This is the first cup of hot coffee I've had since probably in like almost a month now, because it's been consistently 95 degrees here, so I've been having iced coffee or soda for energy drinks. I am tired, Kraz, but I wanted to get one more stream in before the end of the month. I also wanted to talk about streaming on Twitch in general, because I don't know if you all know, there's some cool shit going on. Eric, 28 months, got it in right before the deadline of the end of the month. Thank you so kindly. That does mean a lot. So, y'all know about this bullshit hate raid thing that's happening on Twitch right now? It may very well happen this stream, who knows? Hopefully not. For those of you not in the know, here's a quick rundown. A little while ago, Twitch added tags for things like transgender, which I use, and that's good. But people have discovered this one cool trick where you can target people who have those tags set on their streams and then raid them while they're offline. And if you raid them while they're offline and have bots post a bunch of heinous shit in their chat, just like fill the chat with obscene shit, and then report the channel. Oh, wow, hey, that LGBT streamer is now banned or suspended. That's cool. Twitch saw this happening and went, ooh, shit, we should do something about that. We'll get right on it. That was at the beginning of August. It is now August 31st, and nothing has changed. Tomorrow, September 1st, is going to be a day of rest, basically, a strike against streaming on Twitch. The reason it's September is chosen is because that's the beginning of Twitch's Subtember thing they do, where I think if you first time sub to someone, it's half off or some bullshit like that. And the idea being that we're gonna let Twitch know that we deserve better than this, than crumbs, when you are not addressing the problem. Thank you for your Bezos bucks. Okay, I should go let Lightning in, otherwise she's gonna be scratching at the door the whole time. Say good morning to Lightning, everybody. Everybody say good morning to Lightning. It's lightning time. Oh, you won't. Sorry. You didn't want me to stop petting you, I understand. She's doing this herself. I'm not moving her. You good, Lightning? Ow! So, I am really considering switching to streaming on YouTube. I've thought about this in the past, but I decided that I already have a base built up here on Twitch. There are people who are very vested in subscribing, and I didn't want to undermine all of that by switching to a new platform, even though it is not really a new platform for me. It's my main platform. What I have decided to do is, after the strike, I'm gonna see how Twitch responds, and not responding is also an option that they can have here. Because not inaction is in and of itself making a decision. But if Twitch doesn't actually, you know, do anything about this, then I'm just going to switch to YouTube streaming. Some things I should note about YouTube streaming. You have to keep swapping between Twitch and YouTube and they're a race to the bottom. Yeah, that's fair. However, the difference is that I can live without the platform that is Twitch. YouTube is where my main source of income and content is. So I am required to have that one. I tried posting videos to Twitch in the past and nah, it didn't work out. Oh, good lightning. Yeah, lightning's here. So I'll see how they react. I'll see how they respond. Some things to note about streaming on YouTube. Obviously, we'd probably get more viewership, but it would probably be less cool people, if you feel me. There'd probably be a lot of shitters there, so fair warning about that. Do you wanna? Oh, this is what you want, Lightning? This is what Lightning wants, apparently. Thank you very much, Kiwi. Thank you very kindly. 18 months, God. See, things like this is why I'm worried about switching off of Twitch, because people have vested so much here. Yeah, that was the other thing, Kraz, is I would ensure that all of the moderators I currently have on Twitch will also be moderated on YouTube. Of course, you can so choose to not want to do that, I understand. This cat is so precious. I love her so much. Oh. So we'll see how that goes. That's part of why I wanted to stream today, was I wanted to talk about that. It is unfortunately, from a streamer's perspective, a wait and see thing, because from a platform's perspective, we're just waiting for Twitch to do anything, or if they continue to do nothing, that's a sign that they don't actually care about this, and is a good enough sign to say move on. Arthur, thank you very much for 2 months on a 1 month streak. Okay, what's the plan, Lightning? Yeah? Aww. So, that was the main thing I wanted to talk about today, and we got that out in the first 10 minutes. So let's just chill for a bit. You arrived to Cat. Lightning has been very needy this morning. Oh god, she's also shedding so much. Please, you gotta clean your coat more, Lightning, please. Ow! Did you all see that? Hang on, do it again. So the chat can know what an asshole you are. She bit me. She bites me if I don't pet her enough. Also, I wanted to mention, by the way, the 5-year anniversary video. That should be on time. I don't see a reason why it won't be. I have not filmed it yet. I will film it tomorrow, and I've already written the script for it. I will film it tomorrow, and No worries, Kraz. Take care. Thank you for swinging by, and thank you for hearing about that, because that is important info for the mods to know about. Skelly has hair, doesn't he? Hades, Skelly Hades? The one from Hades? Pretty sure he does. Oh, okay, you've had enough? You've had enough? Okay. At some point, Lightning decides she's had enough. I know, that was right then. Here's another totally unrelated fun thing to talk about. I have been on a quest recently. I've been on a journey to better smells. Not that I smelled bad before, but I used like cheap generic Aldi soap that just smells, you know, like soap, and Old Spice Pure Sport as deodorants. And again, they don't smell bad, they just smell like nothing. They smell boring. So I hit the old workshop of smells, the smell shop. And I've decided lavender. That's gonna be mine. I've looked at I've tried every smell. Thank you. I do like this mug. I forget if this one's from Yeti or Fangamer. There's probably a logo on it somewhere. There is not a logo on it anywhere. I'll look that up real quick. Yes, lavender is the one. I got lavender and sage deodorant, not actual sage, because that shit's endangered or something. Splatoon Jazz Cup mug. Well, I'm seeing a lot of resellers of it. I can't find the original, though. Hang on. It was Yeti. Okay. I got it. I got it, everyone. It was Yeti. They don't sell it anymore. That's kind of how Yeti do. But I enjoy the mug, so I will continue to have the mug. The Splatoon Jazz Cup mug. You had a dream where you had top shirt. Damn. How did it feel? Oh, yes. What I was saying is lavender deodorant. Lavender and sage deodorant. I got the lavender bath bombs, because if you're taking a bath without bath bombs, that makes sense. Bath bombs have a lot of shit in them that might not be good on your skin, and also it costs money to do that. I understand. However, when I take a bath, I like to have a bath bomb. I got the lavender ones. I got that lavender body wash, and I've got that lavender cologne. I used to not be able to wear cologne or perfume because my sister is allergic to it, but I don't live anywhere near her. We still hang out all the time, but, you know, smells don't go through computers yet. Just you wait. Scars are cool. No matter where they are, I think that's a very hard opinion to take, but I think that's a hill I'm willing to die on. Scars are cool no matter where they are. Scars are always cool. Not self-harm scar. Okay. Yeah, see what I mean about it being a hard opinion to take. Scars always look badass. Yeah, I'll accept that. I'll accept that. Don't do self-harm, comma, all other scars look badass. What was I on about? Smells, yes. I got that lavender and birchwood cologne. And hey, guess what? Lean close, everybody. Everything is better now that I smell better. The war in Afghanistan ended. The Delta variant cases are going down. Both of those things I just said are things that are reported but are not true. That's right, everyone. The good smells have saved America. I'm so fucking tired. If you aren't trying to get a good smell going, what are you waiting for? Like, there's obviously the stereotype of gamers, especially the esports players, smelling like garbage, but you can get deodorant, all right? Cheap deodorant. Good, fine. Some people can't do that. Hurts their skin or whatever, I understand. But if you're someone who can wear deodorant, you don't just gotta get that Old Spice Pure Sport. Get yourself something that smells like anything, smells like something. Pick your smell. There's so many of them. Here's what you can do. You can safely, I realize you can't actually do this right now, but I'm going to say the thing I was gonna say anyways, but I want you to know that you should not do this right now. If you were to go into a store that has like essential oils for sale, you can peruse the smells and determine which smell you want to be your smell. Don't do this right now because you'd have to remove your mask to do it in a public store, so don't do that. But in theory, one could peruse all of the essential oils that exist. You had a dream where you changed your legal papers to say you're a woman? Nice. You mostly use shower foams and deodorant from a store called Rituals that have some really good stuff. Neat. The hair dye I use smells fantastic. I use Good Dye Young, D-Y-E, and it smells really good. They sell candles that are that smell now. It kicks ass. Yeah, well, you don't want to have a bad smell if you can help it. If you got a bad smell, you want to get rid of that bad smell, right? But instead of just neutralizing the bad, this is turning into a Febreze ad. Instead of just neutralizing the bad smell, what if you instead added? Okay, well, if you did neutralize it, you should do that also. But secondly, added a good smell, and you can choose your smell. There are so many things in this fucking life that you cannot choose. You cannot choose the gender you were assigned at birth, which sucks. Who thought of that? You can choose your gender after. Once you realize what your gender is, you can choose to be that. That's what I did, and I chose none. You can't choose so many things about your appearance. You know one thing you can choose? Your smell. You can choose what you smell like, provided you have like $8 to buy some nice deodorant and maybe some like hand cream and like moisturizer that smells good. Getting one of those things that sprays smell like the odor spray things and putting a candle in it for a surprise fireball. Hey, don't do that. That's a terrible idea. I appreciate it on a conceptual level. Please don't do that. So yeah, this has been a smell query. Speaking out of experience, I had a friend who used to blow fireballs by they would get like a mouthful of, I don't even remember at this point. No, I'm confusing two things. I had a friend who did this with like mouthfuls of gasoline, which was a whole thing, but I had a different, unrelated friend. Both of them were named Dylan, which is wild, but who would use like spray Axe hairspray and blow fireballs with it, and did once set a small fire in his room that he had put out and pretend didn't happen to his parents. My friends were garbage. some terrible friends. It is a miracle I turned out to not be garbage because, like, most of my friends growing up were chill. Some of them were extremely homophobic, and I only found that out later. And others did blow fireballs with gasoline. Oh, Christ. Anyways, good smells don't smell like acts, smell like facts. And the fact is, you can smell like whatever you want. Pick a smell. What's your smell, everyone? I'm so fucking exhausted. What is your smell, everyone? What smell do you want? I picked lavender, so you can't choose that one. I'm the only one. See, that is there are two things about smells. One, you can choose it. Two, everyone can only, it's like usernames. Everyone can only choose it once. And then no one else is allowed to have that smell. Good morning, Sniff. We're talking about good smells. I smell like lavender. What does everyone else smell like? You can't say lavender. You're not allowed to say lavender. Highlight, and you're adorable. Anyways, lavender lavender underscore undeath, smell like teen spirit, smell like you. It's a mix of organic bamboo and sandalwood. Now that's a good pick. However, that is very greedy of you because you have chosen two smells. Citrus and ginseng, that's also two smells. Y'all, you're getting so greedy with it. No one else can smell like citrus. Nothing else can smell like citrus now except for you. We have to kill all the oranges. There can't be any more lemons. I'm sorry. They're just gone now. Flint has a monopoly because of the free capitalist market on citrus. And now Flint's gonna sue everyone who smells like citrus. And everything that smells like citrus. I'm done talking about smells. I've decided no one gets to talk about smells anymore. Yeah, everyone has like you have your fingerprint, which is mostly identifiable for you. You have like your retinal scan, and you have your smell, and your smell identifies you. So anyways, I'm smoking getting 4 hours of sleep. That is me. I've rolled up 4 hours of sleep into I'm wondering how specific I can get before Twitch would ban me. Lightning, ow, fuck. Stop it. You didn't want to be held anymore, so this is what happens now. I have not watched the Bob Ross documentary. I've watched a lot of Bob Ross growing up. I have not seen the documentary. So what I wanted to talk about now instead is Myst. Y'all know Myst? The 1993 puzzle game that got re-released like 8 fucking times? And one of those re-releases was like a couple days ago. And it's on Game Pass. You know Myst? M-Y-S-T, Myst? I had never played it before, but I saw some of my friends on Twitter talking about how cool it is and how good the remake is, and I went, fuck it. I'm looking for something to play in downtime. I'll give it a whirl. And yeah, it's good. It's good if you like puzzle. I'd say if you like Outer Wilds, if you like that kind of game, you'll probably like Myst. But what's fun is my dad and I were able to bond over our enjoyment of having played Myst, because my dad played Myst, the original release of it, in '93. So we were able to talk about Myst. The two most recent games I've played are Myst and Quake. What fucking year is it? And also Time Tripper, which was good fun. But the course that gaming took of having a primary lean on violence, I'm not smart enough to talk about the psychology of that. But I will say, I don't think it necessarily had to turn out that way. I think it just did. I think there were a lot of other ways games could have been perceived or primarily marketed as beyond the scope of violence. For example, puzzle games. There were lots of point-and-click adventures and puzzle games in the 90s that kicked ass, or were ass, but we have good memories of them. And I am happy to see a renaissance of that happening recently, with either remakes that include, like, play-on functionality. Like, the new Myst remake has a function that randomizes the puzzles, which is some good shit. Isn't that an Americanism? It's not exclusively an Americanism, but it definitely is in large part because of the American market. Like, when I say violence, I'm not just talking about ultra violence. I'm not just talking about, like, brutality, shooty game. I'm talking about the fact that, like, the conflict in so many games boiled down to there is a thing that you need to fight and fight it, which I think is interesting because that doesn't have to be the case. Like, a game doesn't need to follow a logic in order for there to be a obstacle reward loop. Like, it doesn't need to follow a logic of, like, there is a man that you need to punch until he is no longer punching you. It can just be like, these are some blocks, move them around, and that's fun. I think the view on non-violence in Undertale is pretty good. Undertale still features the idea of, like, being attacked specifically, which is, again, I'm not saying is a bad thing. No, I'm not. I'm not going on that. I'm not on that fucking discourse. But I find it interesting that the main conflict in so many titles is violence, when sometimes it can be you have to move these gears to make them spell out a certain number. This first-person adventure game where you gotta find all the cool planets, don't get eaten by the big fish. Oh, the big fish is committing a violence on you. I wonder why so many games boil down to that. And I think part of the answer is that a lot of the most popular games of the 90s and the late 80s and the 90s, and thus extremely influential games, were things like, again, 80s and 90s, things like Mario, got enemies, you gotta beat them. You got Doom, you shoot all the demons, shoot them. And those were the only two games of the 80s and 90s. But what became influential in them was not just level design cues and gameplay design cues, but also the obstacles and, I guess, sort of triumph over opposition that those games offered. Like, the things taken away from Mario weren't just the way that game does health, where you get hit, you get small, you get hit again, you die, and then you can get a power-up to be able to take another damage. But also the idea of, like, these things are shooting fireballs at you. No, again, it's not a bad thing. I find it interesting when I play a game like Myst and I keep expecting something to attack me. And it just doesn't, and that's cool. Like, there's a part in Myst where there's, like, an electrified cage that you can interact with, and I did a quick save and then tried touching it to see if you could die. You can't. It's not that there aren't endings where you fail. There's not fail state. It's not that there aren't fail states, but all of them are based off of like the idea of not being able to explore anymore, as opposed to, you know, being badly hurt or dying. I'm thinking about a lot of games, a lot of influential indie games as well. When you think influential indie game, what are the games that come to mind for you? Because I think it's different for everybody. I'd say Undertale's definitely up there. But what else? What other games do you all think of? Because I'm curious how many of them fall into similar tropes. Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is based off of a lot of NES games. It's a love letter to those, and thus has a lot of the same gameplay ideas in it. Minecraft is a game where you can choose to not have opposition, which I find interesting. I think that's a good way of going about it. And they've also been working to like add ways to gain the resources that you would otherwise need opposition to get in peaceful mode. I'm thinking about other ones. I'm gonna Google influential indie games and see what the worst shit Google throws at me is. Y'all, it gave me 3 games. It gave me exactly 3 games. Minecraft, Gone Home, and Rocket League. These are the 3 games that have defined the indie genre. These are the only 3 indie games. Fucking incredible. Thanks, Google. Cuphead, based off of a lot of old cartoons where slapstick violence comedy was the joke. It is hard to look at Isaac and not describe it as a game based in violence. Golf with your friends. In that one, you golf. And that's good. Again, I will reiterate this as many times as it takes. I'm not saying that games that are based on violence are bad. What I'm saying is I think we're reaching an era where more developers are like, what if this game was you delivering mail and that was the whole game? What if this game was you helping other people and that's the whole game? And I don't think, like, this leans into a discourse people have talked about before, of the idea of labeling something as wholesome and marketing a game as wholesome. And there's a lot to talk about there, but I think the main takeaway is I appreciate games where your interaction with the world is not attacking. Like, you can have a game that has conflict without it attacking being the only way that you can influence the world, you can interact with the world. The main thing that comes to mind is Umurangi Generation, where it is a game that takes place in a fucking war zone, like a post-apocalyptic society, and you are a photographer in it, and you still influence the world and interact with the world through the lens of a camera, as opposed to, you know, the barrel of a gun. Like, even games I really love, like Half-Life 2, for instance, there's something weird when you're playing it and you're in like a cutscene where you are walking around seeing everybody else talk around you, Source Engine style, you can move around freely, and the whole time you have a gun that you're holding, and like Gordon has this cute little animation where he aims it down when you're facing a friendly NPC. But like, it kind of goes to remind you that the main interaction you have with this world is violence. Even through something like the gravity gun. The gravity gun is a means to an end for violence. Now, Half-Life also has the puzzle-solving aspect, which is cool. What I'm saying is I want to see more games where the main interaction you have isn't to shoot. Hang on, I'm gonna let lightning out. Wanna go, lightning? There you go, bud. Light. Like, I think an interesting one that comes to mind for me is something like Yakuza, where, because that is a fighting game, I'm assuming we talk about games other than 7 here, your main interaction with the world is going to be viewed through the lens of how can this lead to a fight. So like, when Marina and I were playing through the Yakuza series, we would make jokes about like, how is this completely mundane start of a side quest, or this completely dumb, unrelated start of a side quest going to end with us having to punch a man until he stops attacking us. And pretty much every side quest will be like, this old lady lost her cat. Help find the cat. Oh, it's me, the angry cat man. I steal cats. How dare you try to take this cat I stole? I'm going to fight you. And your interaction with that world becomes combat. Even in places where it doesn't make any fucking sense for that to be your interaction. Which isn't bad. It feels like it's stifling creatively, though. That's a part of why I like Judgment so much. If you have a PlayStation or an Xbox, I recommend Yakuza Judgment, because it still has combat as your main way of interacting with the world. But you also do like investigation. You tail people. You use drones to get like pictures. You do more to further the plot and to further gameplay than having it be dialogue until you punch somebody. I beat Amon in Yakuza Kiwami. Which, as far as I know, is the easiest one to beat him in. Kiwami, I 100%ed the sub-stories in Kiwami, and then that includes Amon. I tried beating him in Judgment, but the gimmick in Judgment is that Amon takes your fucking phone away, and then you can't use your inventory, which means you can't heal anymore. So it's real difficult. I was never able to do it. I'm taking everything from you. Give me your phone. Anyways, that was a little rant about how so many games are perceived through the lens of violence, because that is one of the most popular ways to play a game, is shooting somebody or punching somebody. So a story that shouldn't really have anything to do with it ends up turning into one about violence. I am wondering if I have literally any other words to say. I talked about the 3 important things: violence, smells, and Twitch not respecting its creators. Those are the 3 important things I wanted to talk about today. So, what's left? I guess I could bring up Halo Infinite pisses me off. Okay, so Halo Infinite, as far as I know, gameplay-wise, it kicks ass. Like, again, shooty game, but that's literally, it is a war story, so in that case it makes sense. But the campaigns are what I enjoy most about Halo, co-op campaigns with people. And it's not gonna have a co-op campaign on release. And like, Austin and I watched a playthrough of Halo 5's campaign so that we could know what was happening in the story. I've never really been into Watch Dogs as a series. Yeah, it also doesn't help that everything Ubisoft touches is tinged with their bullshit. But hey. I think going forward, I'm gonna do my best to balance out the reviews of games I have on my channel, because like I review Doom Eternal, for instance, but I'm getting less and less interested in talking about shooty game, because like it doesn't mean I don't enjoy playing them, but it's arcade candy. My favorite band, Arcade Candy, where it's a sweet that you enjoy and you play, and it's like, this feels good to play, and I don't think of it at all beyond that. And at a certain point, I've run out of ways to say the game feels good to play. I've run out of ways to say the controls are tight. I've run out of ways to say enemies feel responsive, and when you do a shoot, it feels like you're having fun. I've run out of ways to say that shit. I want to talk about how a story dynamic of a game. I want to talk about how gameplay is used to realize a narrative. How it's not just there is a narrative over some gameplay, it is that the gameplay in and of itself, through the actions that you take to play the game, helped teach you the moral the game is trying to teach, or whatever. I've run out of ways to say shooty game feel good to play, so why do I keep making videos about them? Because they get views, that's why. That's why. Fucking yick. My roommate and buddy Alex tried playing Yick in a living room for all of us to enjoy, and we barely made it through like an hour before we realized this isn't fun bad, it's just bad. It was too insufferable. Gave up on it. Alright, I think I've said everything I really wanted to say. Talked about how if Twitch doesn't handle the shit that's happening right now and doesn't address the strikes that are happening against them because of their inability or unwillingness to address ongoing hate raids, then I'm gonna start streaming on YouTube instead. Yeah, I think people took a lot of the wrong lessons from Undertale. That's a whole thing I could go on about, but people have said it plenty before. Not players took the wrong lessons from Undertale. I think a lot of developers looked at Undertale and went, the way this game subverts the genre is cool. However, I like the story things about it, and I can't just take those, so I'm instead going to take the way the game tries to exist outside of its shell, basically. And I'm sitting here thinking, also, One Shot's a really good game. If you like Undertale, play One Shot. You'll like One Shot also. One Shot is really good. Go play One Shot. Just got done filling in a bunch of forms before you realized you filled in the wrong forms for what you wanted to do, so that was cool. Hell yeah. You're gonna head out. You got the you need to finish Great Ace Attorney. Enjoy. I gotta get on that at some point too. Take care. See ya, bud. There's two Dans. Dan Salvato is the Doki Doki guy, right? And then Dan Forrance is the Rivals of Ether one. That's right? Or is it the other way around? It doesn't matter. I don't have anything against Dan the man. But Doki Doki set back the West's understanding of visual novels by like 15 years. And we're still recovering from it. The DLC gives it a good ending. Play the DLC for one shot, please. But Doki Doki Literature Club as itself, I don't like it, but as itself, it's not a bad game. However, the reception to it and the cultural significance of it, I also feel this way about Hatoful Boyfriend, where again, I don't think it's bad to have made that game. I don't think it's bad that that game became popular. I am annoyed that the America's mainly perception of the visual novel genre is basically represented by titles with joke or subversion catches to them, as opposed to just being a visual novel. And it creates this expectation that visual novels will be are trying to escape the idea of being a visual novel instead of a VN just being itself and that being fine. Like, it creates this idea that the metric of being a VN is in some way limiting the ability for a game to be interesting or creative. And that's some bullshit. Yes, Square, it's the pigeon dating one. Like, again, these games aren't bad. They're fine. But they became the genre-defining VNs for a lot of people in the West. And that blows. Like, I'm trying to think of an equivalent example of that. Actually, like, everything I was going to say or could say can be summed up by that one tweet about getting a lot of Boss Baby vibes from this. Like, man who has only ever seen Boss Baby watching a movie for the second time, getting a lot of Boss Baby vibes from it. If your entire experience with VNs is Doki Doki Literature Club, then what you think of VN is going to be so fucked. And then when you play other VNs and are like, these are boring, like, no, your expectations are wrong. It's annoying as fuck. And like, I think the same way for indie devs who are trying to create relatively simple, maybe straightforward games, and people keep expecting it to somehow try and subvert itself. And like, that only exists because you think every indie game is going to be Undertale. And again, Undertale's a good game, there's nothing wrong with it. But when the most popular games also happen to be ones that attempt to subvert the genre, people think the reason they're popular is because they're subverting the genre, when the reality of it is the project was on such a scope and scale that included the fact that it subverted the genre. Like, it was all considered as part of it. It's not a fucking statement about indie games. It's not a statement about visual novels. These are just how these games are. You shouldn't expect every other game to play like that. So people will play an indie game that might visually look like Undertale, for instance, and then be like, huh, that just kind of started and then stopped. The story wrapped up neatly. I feel like, I don't know, did I miss something? No, you played a game. Remember that? It's okay for a game to be what it appears to be on the surface. It's fine. Alright, that's enough ranting. Play more games, basically, is what I'm trying to say here. Like, the two ends of the spectrum should not be baseline shooty game that doesn't try anything new, or this game takes everything you thought you understood about the genre and turns it on its head. Those do not have to be the two games that exist. There is a whole broad spectrum of games in the middle that are cool and good. Oh yeah, for the record, like I've been saying, this is definitely a thing in the West. I think it's similar. Again, this is especially has to do with the West. To do with a lot of American animation. Almost feels like it's embarrassed to be American adult animation, I should specify, like either family cartoons or adult cartoons. Feels like it almost is embarrassed to exist and tries to crack jokes at the fact that it's using the medium that it is. So like, that's where you'll get shows that have like almost self-deprecating art styles. And this isn't me saying like, Cal Arts or whatever. No, that whole thing is bullshit. Like all the cool kids cartoons that we have now, like, I have not watched them, but Owl House, I'm trying to remember some other ones. Infinity Train, that one got ended though, didn't it? Gumball. There's good shows. You can tell I haven't watched a kids cartoon from recent eras. They're good shows, cool art styles. I'm talking about things like, I love this show, but Bob's Burgers. Big Mouth is another one I think of. Adult cartoons seem to be competing for looking the ugliest. There's a difference between your art style being against the expectations of what someone might want, or being a parody of itself to the point where you're like, isn't it ridiculous that we look the way that we are? Exactly, that's a great example. Psychonauts is a weird art style that embraces the fact that it's weird. And the point I'm trying to make here is there's this expectation that a game can't just be what it appears to be, because it's almost embarrassing if you're just playing a visual novel. God forbid you're just playing an indie game. Where's, like, it feels like these art styles or these subversions of the genre are defenses to be like, don't worry, I'm not just playing a visual novel. It gets wild, trust me, and that's why I'm playing it. And like, that's not a bad thing, but if it becomes the only thing that people in the West accept, then it ruins the genre. There's a reason why so much American animation looks like that. And it's because, well, first of all, because a lot of animation is offloaded to a lot of the same studios. And then those animators, usually overseas, are not credited, which is a whole thing. But I am definitely not qualified to talk about that at the length that it deserves to be talked about. But credit your fucking animators. But I'm also thinking about, like, how art styles of shows change as a show becomes popular, and basically they go, okay, people like us, so now we can be prettier, or now we can be more interesting looking, as opposed to having to look safe. And the West's idea of safe is weird, rather than risk alienating an audience by people looking at your show and going, huh, this seems like it's a kid's show. Like, no, it's just animated. Christ. It depends on the show. I really enjoy some of Bob's Burgers. Some of the earlier episodes suck shit, and the most recent season was pretty bad. Great North, I actually highly recommend. Every episode of that has been a winner. It's just a really pleasant show. But then, yeah, like adult animated sitcoms a lot of them are garbage bad. I have not seen BoJack. I think it would be too depressing. Yeah, Road 96's music is fantastic and royalty-free. Recommended. Crikey? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Welcome aboard. I think I'd be too depressed watching BoJack, if you feel me. I keep thinking that I've said everything I wanted to say, and then we've been streaming an hour, and I'm like, oh shit. But yeah, it's not it's easier to talk about heavy things when you have cartoon animals talking about. I feel that. But it's not bad to enjoy something that's animated, or to enjoy an indie game, or to enjoy a visual novel. And I wish people would stop pretending that it is bad. Or like it comes down to like a peer pressure thing for younger people that then stays ingrained in your brain for a while. Like, I remember a game I played when I was younger, Reciteer, Item Shop Manager. That game is great. That game is so fun and sweet. And as I was playing it one day, one of my Steam friends, who was also an IRL friend, who's one of the people who used to blow fireballs, I think it was the one who blew fireballs with Axe body spray, saw me playing it and said, "What is this gay shit you're playing?" And I went, "It's an item shop manager." And then I had to create this justification in my head of like, it's actually a dungeon crawler, you know, and it has an interesting story, and like, it's fine. Again, it was a peer pressure thing for me at the time, but it's fine to just play it and be like, it's cute and I like it. Okay, that's enough negativity. That's enough ranting. Go play Myst if you haven't played it before, or if you did a long time ago, you can play it again and choose random puzzles. It's good. It's on Game Pass. After that, take your best smell and bring it out. Bring out your best smell, and then after that, boycott Twitch tomorrow. Don't watch streams tomorrow. Don't stream tomorrow. Again, tomorrow being September 1st. Just let Twitch know that inaction is in and of itself a statement. Yep, Square, against how there are continuing to be hate raids on Twitch that are getting the people who are being raided banned, and Twitch has not done a single fucking thing about it in over a month. And tomorrow starts September, and people are gonna boycott it. So yeah, I'm not gonna stream tomorrow. If you're a streamer, I'd appreciate if you didn't stream tomorrow, and don't watch Twitch tomorrow. I am going to probably do like nothing today, because holy shit, I'm exhausted, and I 4 hours of sleep is not enough. The coffee helped, and talking helped. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you all for coming by and playing the game. That's right. This was actually a subvertive game where now if you look on your desktop, I've made your desktop a picture of Satan. That's right. And this is a commentary. This one is a commentary about death. You need to be careful around these parts. Don't launch the game again, because it'll be bad if you do. I'm gonna close the game now, and I'm gonna tell you not to relaunch the game. And then if you try to open it again, it won't open. So don't do it. I hope everyone has a good day. Please take care of your hair. If you can avoid using a shampoo with sulfates in it, please do. Your hair deserves better than that. And take it easy.